Greetings everyone, Tim Anderson here, aka Renfail, and welcome to my ongoing series on Lord of the Rings Online and the ongoing LOTRO class series, where I explain my favorite classes and the way that I like to play them. And I previously talked about the Minstrel because that was the first class that I ever played when I first got this game all the way back when it launched, and I did a game guide for Killer Guides back then. I also did a Lore Master guide and promptly rolled a Lore Master after the Minstrel. Obviously, things have changed since 2007, but be that as it may, I still think the Lore Master is one of my favorite classes, and we're going to talk about it today here in this video. So, first and foremost, the Lore Master is, for all intents and purposes, this is as close to a wizard as you were going to get in the live version of the game when it first launched, because they didn't have the Runekeeper class at the time. Now, since the introduction of that particular class, we now have more of a wizardly option. But when the game first launched, this was it, and it was a kind of a mixture between Radagast and Gandalf, if you had to pick something to compare them against. You had some wizardly abilities and everything else, but the Lore Master was also all about pets. And of course, you have a whole variety of different pets at your disposal. I like to use my eagle quite a bit, but when I'm not using my eagle, I will use my Lynx, I believe it is. Yeah, which is a DPS pet. Scratch is what he's called. Now, there are traditionally in this game, just like if you've ever played any sort of pet class in another game, it's the same situation here. You've got like the bear is your tank pet, and the cats are like DPS pets, and the eagle is more of a utility pet, which can be very useful in scenarios when you might die, like in dungeons, because he will res your character. And considering lore masters have a backup heal and a backup res, it's a great way if you find yourself in one of those oh shit scenarios in a dungeon where everybody has had a party wipe and everything else, but your eagle can res you, and then you can get up and res the minstrel, and party's back on its feet without having to go all the way back to the beginning of the game. Now, because this is a pet class, but it also does a little bit of heals, it does a little bit of buffs, it does a little bit of debuffs, it does a little bit of DPS. It also does crowd control. So there's a lot of things that the Lore Master can do in this game. And of course, just like with any of the other classes, I always forget which button it is to open this up. You also have your traits. Now we're going to go ahead and go over here. I've gone with Keeper of Animals because I play this as a pet class. We're going to go through here and talk about this a little bit more. You basically have your pet line, which is the blue line, which is a strong bond with beasts for attack and defense. Animal companions ensure their keeper's survival using bonuses and pet master interactions to help both thrive in battle. So this is a line that's great if you want your pet to be like your primary companion. This is what I would consider to be the solo build. I pretty much only play this character by myself. I don't think I've ever played this character with someone else, to be honest with you. And this is my US-based lore master. I have a lore master on the European servers from when I first started playing the games, but that was so long ago. That character is faded into dust. This character is built around soloing, and I primarily built this character to be a woodworker ahead of the hobbits that I play alongside my brother. But anyway, Keeper of Animals is the line if you want to be a pet-based character. Now, there's two ways to look at this from here. The Ancient Master line, which is this is literally, it says, a crowd control build with a wide range of debuffs and power restoring abilities for the Fellowship, using chains of harmful skills to enhance debuffs. I honestly would consider this line, and again, opinions are going to vary, but I would consider the yellow line, the Ancient Master line, to be primarily for lore masters who are going to be in raid scenarios for the power restoring abilities for your Fellowship. Also the debuffs and everything else. Crowd control might not necessarily be that much of a big deal in raid scenarios. It will be in group scenarios. Um, but this is a great build for a utility lore master who's going to be the backbone of restoring power to the group, debuffing enemies, and doing crowd control, which I think is most useful on raids. The Master of Nature's Fury is a DPS build focused on dealing significant damage from a distance. Skills interact to maximize damage to one or multiple targets. So you get a plus 20% fire type damage bonus, plus 20% chance for lightning strike to strike twice, and your feline companions have increased attack damage and slightly more morale and power. This is all about DPS. So if you are going to be rolling your character as part of a static group or as part of a guild group and your role is a DPS character, then the Nature's Fury one is the one you want to go for because it is extremely powerful and you get a lot of bang for your buck in terms of the fire and lightning spells. But again, this is predicated on you having some sort of a group to back you up because the Lore Master is not the most durable of characters. They are kind of squishy, and if you're rolling this build, I have found that the survivability is not as good as it is with the Keeper of Animals, which is why I roll consistently with my Keeper of Animals buff. So, in any case, let's see here. Let's pull out my eagle again. I love the Lore Master. Now, this class, in my opinion, if you play it well, is one of the most survivable solo classes in the game. That being said, the DPS is not the best when you are in the pet mode that I am in. However, if you are in Moria, for example, and you're dealing with lots of mobs on occasion, because you have crowd control at your disposal and you can have your pet attacking one mob, root another mob, and then take on a third mob by yourself while your pet is handling another one, you can throw a dot on that to help your pet out. There's a lot of strategic use to this class and a lot of utility. So even though the DPS isn't the best, you can keep a wide group of mobs locked down while you're honing in on one or two and take those out. It's still not as survivable as, say, I still think that the Guardian um, with the AoE spec is still one of the most survivable AoE type characters in the game, even more than the champion builds. But, again, mileage will vary depending on the individual and who's playing the character. So this is a quick rundown on the Lore Master. It's not going to be the best DPS character in the game. The CC is the best in the game if you're rolling with a group that wants to use CC. I have found doing pickup groups that almost no one cares about CC. Everyone just wants to AoE things and burn mobs down as quickly as possible, whereas back in the day, crowd control used to be very, very important. I can remember doing Moria when Moria first launched, and if you didn't have a Lore Master in those dungeon runs, you were going to wipe every single time because it was absolutely mandatory that you were locking mobs down and having focused fire on one or two mobs at a time. Strategies have changed over the years with trait builds and everything else, and people tweaking their characters out, so it's not necessarily as important as it was back then. Again, I love this character for the solo ability. I also think it's just fun to run around and be like the Gandalf or the Radagast of the world and just kind of have animal pets and friends and be able to hang out and be a wizard and do cool things and pretend like I'm one of those mysterious characters in Middle Earth as opposed to just being a straight up, ranger or a thief or something. So for my mileage, the Minstrel is probably my second. Even though the Minstrel was my first character I ever played, it's not my favorite type of character that I've played in this game. The Lore Master is also not my favorite class. That's going to fall to the Hunter/Ranger, whatever you want to call them. And we're going to cover those in the next video, in that class video. But I would say that the Lore Master is up there as my second favorite class of all time in this game. It's really fun. The survivability is really great. You have a huge array of companions that you can get, which makes role playing a lot of fun. Also, you'll notice that my eagle is a white eagle. There are different colors of eagles that you can get. This is the improved eagle friend, the tundra eagle. Obviously, they all have the same stats. All the eagles have the same stats, but there's different versions of eagles, different versions of lynxes, different versions of. I believe I have a. Let me check here real quick. I forget what they're called. Saber Tooth Cat. There's different versions of Saber Tooth Cat. This is my winter cat, I believe. It's just an improved one. Yeah, it's this Saber Tooth Cat hails from the north and can wield the cold of its home. Um, it's a fierce-looking beast. You get all sorts of companions in this game, which is great. And then of course you also get, if I'm not mistaken, where is it at? I haven't played this character in a little bit, and I don't know if it's on my hotbar. I don't think it is right now. You also get these animal companions that can follow you around that are not your pets, and they don't do anything for you other than just visually they look cool. Do I have it in my inventory? I don't remember where I put it. I know I have like a black wolf, and so I can have a black wolf and my lynx following me around at the same time, and I don't remember where it went because I haven't played this guy in a while because I've been focused on doing my hunter recently. Anyway, that's my lore master. I like him. I think he's got a pretty cool outfit too. My elven sword and my staff. Let's do some fun spells. Can we do any fun spells? Knowledge of cures. There we go. Something fun. Inner flame. I just love this character. I mean, it's a lot of fun to roleplay. And I'm currently midway through Rohan with this character, slowly but surely getting up there. So, in any case, hopefully you enjoyed. If you want more information about the Lore Master, don't forget you can check out other people's videos here on YouTube. There's more information online, or just jump in and play one. There's a lot of different ways that you can play. A lot of different races can be Lore Masters. I went with I believe the High Elf is my race with this one, which is a specialty race that didn't exist when the game first came out. Has a really cool background starter area that's unique, and I think it fits well with the Lore Master in particular if you're going to be playing an elf. But obviously, if you're going to be human, it's slightly different. So again, mileage may vary. Thanks for following along, everybody, and don't forget, if you like this video, make sure to follow along and subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon to the updates for future content, and come join us over in Discord. Hang out with us over there as we play through various games and talk about tabletop and all the things we do. Stick around, watch the other videos here in the LOTRO series on YouTube, and if you want to check out the Lord of the Rings Online Cooking in Real Life playlist here on YouTube, where I take recipes from in-game and I cook them in my kitchen with my wife, and we produce them here on YouTube and over on Patreon. Thanks, everybody. Till next time, stay safe.